I can perform with 2 to 5 hours of sleep. I'm not saying that's a thing that everyone should do. I'm saying it's necessary during specific time periods of our lives where we need to tap into our warrior mindset to realize it's better to get shit done than to let things sit, because if you let things sit on our minds, it creates a depressive mindset, because now it's rolling in our mind why we don't do it. Instead of going to do it, we put it aside. By putting it aside, we don't want to wake up and start our day, because we know deep down inside we should not put it aside. That was my mindset a lot of times. Then I kind of realized over time, Sam, it's better to just get the shit done. Get it done. It's better to get shit done with 2, 3, 5 hours of sleep than putting it aside to the next morning and getting 9, 10 hours of sleep, especially if it's urgent, especially if it's something you're being procrastinating with, even your workouts. You put your workouts aside all the time, and you keep always putting aside. You don't have time. You don't have time. Do it at fucking 11 p.m. and get 4, 5, 6 hours of sleep. Drinking coffee in the morning. Coffee is proven to be actually pretty healthy if you get it from a healthy source. It's actually one of the best things for athletic performance, brain function, and cognitive abilities if done correctly. And it actually has some antioxidant qualities to them, which actually helps you with specific kinds of diseases. I don't know them off the top of my head, but it is out there. If you just type into Google, it's going to populate it. But obviously, if you get a coffee from like a fast food chain, Tim Hortons, the Starbucks, it's not going to be the best quality out there. So you got to remember, when I say coffee, got to be a bit more specific. So what I learned is I would rather get shit done with 2 to 5 hours of sleep and then go through my day, because the energy and drive that you get with 2 to 5 hours of sleep getting things done is going to wake you up and make you feel more confident about yourselves, because now you're just following through with your work. Now, it's very important for me to explain that I'm not saying it's a thing that people should do all the time, but I'm just telling you from my experience, I got 2 to 5 hours of sleep constantly for 6 months straight, ongoing, and I've been able to PR with my numbers. So I still get my workouts in at 2:30 a.m. I still get stronger throughout the whole process, and I'm still putting on muscle mass. If it was that bad for me, if it was actually that much of a hindrance in terms of my progress, I'd be in a catabolic state. I'm in an anabolic state. In other words, I'm building up. Let's keep things very simple. If you want to look at things from that standpoint, if it was really that bad for me, because there's a lot of people who say, your sex drive goes down, your athletic performance goes down, you're going to lose muscle mass. There's a lot of things out there in terms of research, but I only can tell you from my experience, and having a clear conscience, getting shit done is creating more drive, which does create more testosterone. In theory, I'm applying to myself, and I am getting stronger through the process. Would I be more effective with 8 hours of sleep? Yeah, I would. Would I be more effective with 9 hours of sleep if I need 9 hours? Yeah, I would. But would I rather get shit done if I need to get it done? Yeah, because I'd rather be completely fatigued getting shit done than being fully rested and not getting things done, because a depressive mindset is a heavy mindset. We know that feeling. We all know that feeling of just waking up, getting a lot of our minds, a lot of things we don't want to do, and we just keep putting aside, and we got to do it, and we don't want to get up. That's a terrible fucking feeling. Now I just jump out of my bed with 2 to 5 hours of sleep. I just jump up and get it done. The only thing that's very important, and this is why I'm making this video, because I'm a bitch for slipping. I decided to smoke a joint recently because I decided to celebrate. It was my friend was deciding to fight. And when he decided to fight, I decided to go support him, and I had nothing to do at that point. So smoked one, not much, and when I did that, I slipped through my process, because at that day I had 2 hours of sleep. I was already on low energy, and the thing about the joint, it's not the marijuana, like the high that's a problem. It's the low. It's the right after. I get groggy. I can't really focus. My cognitive abilities go down, and my body automatically goes to a shutdown. So to be able to operate 2 to 5 hours of sleep, what's almost mandatory is super clean diet, super lean diet, and hydrating a lot, and making sure you get a lot of things done on top of that. So being super productive. When I say clean and lean, I mean like avoid any processed foods, any sort of processed food, A&W, fucking McDonald's, Tim Hortons, anything specific like that. The thing about processed foods, it gives you a good jolt of energy to start, but again, like anything that's processed, it takes more time to process internally. The thing about eating lean and clean, vegetables, chicken breast, tuna, tilapia, any sort of fish, white meat, it doesn't make you feel too low. You don't get much of a crash if you get it from clean source, 100%. You can have fruit depending on the circumstance, but the thing about operating with super low speeds, low sleep is any sort of carb heavy meals will lead to a crash of the system. So we all know the effects of being super fasted for a long periods of time is our ability to be alert goes up. But here's the thing, being on a caloric deficit and training hard all the time, every day, well, when I say hard, I mean being specific, adding a bit of intensity, add a bit of a struggle to it, puts you into a mental state that you're adding a struggle in your life. By adding a struggle to your life, you're a lot more grateful to go through your day, and you're at peace of mind. You already started your day hard, so everything else gets a lot easier to do. You add a super lean diet so you don't crash, and that's the name of the game. So you don't really need to starve yourself to get that mental clarity and focus. Just make sure your diet is super clean and lean, and make sure you get shit done all the time. You build the right habits throughout your day, with regards to your wake up time, with regards to getting to your car, with regards to going to work, with regards to work, with regards to coming back from work, at the gym, the right habits, the right blueprint, and then your evening process. Wherever we are in our lives, there are certain points where there's energy leaks, where we feel uncomfortable, and that's the thing about fatigue. When you train a lot, or when you're operating with very low sleep and you're training really hard, fatigue tends to kick in. And when fatigue tends to kick in, it's a state of discomfort. And when we're in a state of discomfort, we want to just go towards anything that's pleasure-seeking. So it could be a drink, a smoke, alcohol, which is the reason why I smoked a joint. I thought I earned it, and I wanted to celebrate. But it takes about 48 hours for me to fully recover from a joint. I realize this from my experience. So the next 2 days is going to be not the best in terms of a productivity standpoint from getting shit done. From my experience, just my experience. I already told you I came back from pot addiction, so it wasn't wise for me. And the reason why I operate with the sleep amount of I do, I don't look at what the conventional world does. I look at the best of the best. What is Michael Jordan doing? What is Kobe Bryant doing? What is Wayne Gretzky doing? What is all these top tier athletes doing? Are they saying sleep is important? Yeah, but Kobe Bryant operated with 2 hours of sleep, and was still at the top of his game. Now I'm not trying to preach that get 2 hours of sleep and be at the top of your game, but there are certain times in our lives when you gotta get shit done, and getting all that shit done and go operate at 2 hours of sleep is better than getting 10 hours of sleep and not getting it done. My experience. There's always life curveballs that happen. It could be responsibilities with family. It could be an issue with our house. It could be a work obligation. It could be a random event that we have to experience. It's no excuse to quit on a workout. And that's why I start my morning strong with a hard-ass workout. That's why I do it. If I don't, it's harder for me to operate. For example, today is a day where I slipped. And the reason I'm making this video on sleep is because my sleep was a bit wonky, and I thought it's a perfect time to be open and honest with regards to my slip itself. And it makes me feel like a total fucking bitch that I slipped. I'm a bitch. I'm stupid for fucking slipping. I knew better. I shouldn't have. And that's the attitude and the mindset that we need to have, instead of saying, no, it's okay. It's not okay to slip, or it's okay that it should happen. When I say it's okay, slips happen. It's normal for them to happen, but you don't want it to be a constant occurring theme or thing. And that's what has happened to me a couple times, and I don't want that to happen. It happened to me for 2 days in a row, and that's enough for me to be a red flag in terms of this shit can't happen again. It can't. Because in the back of my mind, it's not even about me. I can think about so many people in my gym at TriStar that are depending on me to level up. They want me to probably, there was talks of me wanting to pitch a strength program for a lot of guys in that gym. They're talking about it, they got a lot of joint issues. They all want to get stronger, faster to some degree. So I thought it would be a great opportunity for me to do so. And by me slipping fucking up the process, it puts me in a negative state. And if it puts me in a more negative state, it's going to be harder for me to do what I need to do. Now I'm just not being a good role model and leader. Because now I'm just saying it's okay to smoke at night and slip. A lot of people out here are struggling with addiction. For me to just not be responsible for it, not put other people around first and serve them first, it's not a good feeling. Because I realize from my experience, start your day strong, serve yourself, put yourself in a good mental state, emotional state, and then go through your day and serve others, even with little sleep. You don't need to always run into alcohol. I'm not here to preach substances are bad. I think everyone knows what substances are bad for them, what's good for them. They just have to be really honest with themselves. And I just know smoking a joint is not helping my case, especially with regards to little sleep. People think I need to smoke joints to go to bed. I don't think so. I don't think people do. I think what people need to do is learn to get shit done to the point where you're so fucking exhausted, you just collapse to sleep. I can drink 3 or 4 coffees and then go to sleep right after it. I'm literally mean 3 to 4 coffees and then after 8 p.m. and go to bed by 10, 11, wake up at 2:32 a.m. and start my day fresh. And I don't have troubles falling asleep or waking up. I used to have trouble waking up. And that's when I used to smoke a lot of pot. And that's why I keep telling people, just go clean, man. There's nothing fucking wrong with just going clean for a bit. The fact that I have to pitch just like living a healthy, clean lifestyle as like a hard thing to do, man, like we all know the feeling of eating vegetables and fruits if necessary, clean food. Tastes fucking good. And the healthiness is an energy source. When you're healthy, you're just more energetic, radiance internally, and then outside, everyone around you is gonna feel it too. It's important to be healthy because no one wants to be around someone who's always unhealthy. It rubs off. Doesn't mean you should avoid them, because that's also a weak thing to do. You can't run away from a lot of people. Everyone around me, behind me, for the most part, are living an inactive, sedentary lifestyle where they actually truly believe that one day when they get all the financial wealth that they have, then they're going to start training. But from the reality of life is most people just don't train once they get the money and once they get the funds. Maybe some do at the top. They also do the same thing. They regret it. So I don't know why people follow that blueprint, because I truly believe that people in the corporate world look at people around them and they just see them like not training, and they think when they get up to that certain point or to get to that level they need to like not train. But if you look at people at the high level executives, they're doing coke, they're drinking, they're doing a lot of things with their clients. They don't need to do it. They don't need to do it. So the one thing, that's why I always recommend, is starting your day in the morning, because there's always going to be obligations later on in the evening which is going to pull you aside and just make it harder for you to train. So that's why I start my day in the morning. If you can't train in the morning, you guys remember, the world doesn't have to mend for you. The world, no one has to fucking bend over backwards for your fucking schedule. Part of the reason why I wake up at 2:30 a.m. to show you guys that it's possible, one. Number two, I got shit to do. I train people in the morning at 2:30 a.m. I do my part-time job from roughly around 3 to 5, because I train, and at the same time I multitask. I clean the gym too, 5 to 5:30, sometimes 6, depending on how productive I am with my workouts, how much I want to work out, or how messy the gym is. Then I go home, maybe take a power nap. I do in-person training. I train in in-person clients here and there, and I do online coaching, and I have to do administrative work all the way to the point I hit 12 p.m. or 11 a.m. and then I start my other part-time job where I'm going from that to 5 to 6 p.m. and I come home, I do my martial arts at 6:45 p.m. till 9, 8:30, depending on the time or depending on how active I am or how much energy I have or how much I'm willing to put into that practice. And then again, I have another hour to 2 to go to bed, 10 to 11 p.m. and then I only have 2 to 5 hours of sleep. That's my current process. That's what I go through. I don't have that much opportunity to fuck up. And when I slip with one small little thing, a YouTube video or a meal, or maybe I shouldn't be eating those fries that I eat, because again, with low sleep and a messy meal, it causes a mental fog. If I get 10, 9, 8 hours of sleep and then I have fries and a burger, I don't get that mental fog. I can operate, but with very little sleep, there's a crash. That's why I'm just putting this video out there to show you guys it's possible. I know there's a lot of guys out there in the corporate world that think it's not possible, and they're going to justify their current position, their status, and maybe their financial position, maybe their obligation that they feel like it'll be responsible for them not to train. And part of my next vision is to get to a position where, not to rub in other people's face, but to show them that it's possible to make a shit ton of money, and it's even paramount to, it's even like a prerequisite to start your day strong. In other words, put that workout in, because no one wants to be that guy with a lot of money, a lot of financial success, but internally they're a fucking mess, and they have no responsibility with regards to taking care of themselves. Eventually they're a liability to the people around them. The wife doesn't love them, the girlfriend doesn't love them, the boyfriend doesn't respect them. It doesn't matter what it is. No one respects a person out of shape. Someone who doesn't have respect for themselves will get no respect from people around them. That's just life.